I don't think that you can suddenly say go backwards and delete words that had real meaning because someone has perverted it, because then it never stops. It just becomes constantly having to update the language for people's feelings. And I don't think that we should be doing that.
So you would never call me a in my face, right?
Candace Owens and Don Lemon sat down and they had a conversation where a lot of tough questions were asked by Don Lemon. And well, I feel like Don Lemon came out of it feeling like he got the gotcha moment, but I could be wrong.
I've interviewed a lot of people. Also, Candace, I don't want this, if I can say this, to be, a moment where, people, you or anyone, we're looking for, this fiery moment that's going to go viral because people are going to click on it. I really do want to learn about you. And I want you to be able to explain some of the things that you said and whether you believe them, whether they were taken out of context or whatever. But can we?
Don Lemon is a shady character. He just really actually said some patronizing stuff to Candace. What he did there was say, I know you or some people are probably looking for a viral moment, but I really just want to get to know you. What he just did was morally grandstand over her to make it seem like, no, I'm better than this. I'm not you who looks for, the moment of, just to do things. I'm not performative. That's basically what he's saying.
Please start. Is that okay?
Yeah, I love that. I think that's really great. I just had a conversation with Russell Brand about the same thing. Like the left-right stuff is just getting really old and toxic. And I think we can all take each other out of context to make the other person look stupid. But I think people are more deserving of an actual conversation.
So I was going to start with the politics of the day, and we can always get to that because that can be kind of boring. But I mean, do you feel like after you left the other platform that you were on, do you feel different? Has your attitude or anything about life or your political beliefs, or has that changed at all?
It hasn't changed. I would probably say that I experienced more of an internal sea change at the beginning of last year, when I was still on my other platform. And I think people saw that toward the end of me being on the other platform. And there was just, and the show was performing really well and really strong. And I think it was because I had kind of broken with this idea that it's always like left versus right. And in a way that just welcomed more people into the show. So I personally changed, probably starting at the beginning of last year, I would say.
So Candace keeps making the inference about left, right. I totally get it. I'm totally with her on that. By the way, guys, thank you for watching the episode. Thank you for watching the channel. It has been a while since I've been back. I've been working on some things in the back end. A lot of things been going on. I am here with you guys. I'm so happy everybody is watching on this channel. We are talking about the inconvenient truth and kind of taking things into a direction where we're going to start talking about literally everything. But anyway, I want to say thank you guys. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and all right, we'll get back into it. So Candace is saying that the left-right divide is just basically it's theater. It really is, because when you sit down and talk to people, now we're not talking about radical, right? Like, I'm not talking about some purple-haired, binary kid who really actually just needs some focus, some guidance, being told that they're created by a creator who does love them. And that's probably why they're going through all of this stuff, but whatever. I'm talking about just people, regular American citizens who just want a system that works for them. So I think that left-right divide thing, it is starting to melt very little. I see it more because I do commentary and I talk to other people and debate and everything, but you can see it. Dialogue builds bridges. So I understand what she's saying.
There were people who were saying, because you went on to the Breakfast Club, right? Mm-hmm. And they were saying, oh my gosh, Candace Owens is Black again. She's going to come back to the Black community and she's going to be Black. And that's the way she's going to reemerge, much the same way that people said that I was going to be red-pilled when I came back to, whatever, the streaming and what have you. Is that, are you Black again? Do you feel that? What do you think about that?
People are going to be so shocked to learn this, and I guess I'll just announce it here, but I've always been Black. So it's like a thing. Every day I've just been Black my whole life. And it was interesting to see people take that narrative, because some people were like, she was doing this because, she decided to be Black because she knew she was going to get fired. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I went on the network because I got invited to go on for the first time ever. That was just my luck. And I think it was in response to me having done Joe Budden's podcast, and Joe Budden said something nice about me on his podcast, and I reached out on my podcast. So that was all very natural. And when I went on The Breakfast Club, I still said what I always think. I think people may have heard it different. And again, I think that is in large part due to the fact that Americans are growing tired of the hostility left versus right. And people are starting to listen to different ideas and seeing that we probably have more in common than the mainstream media would have allowed us to believe in the past.
Okay.
So she says that, like, first of all, that is like the most racist thing. Like, oh, she's going to be black again. Like, what is it to be black? Like, it's just so ridiculous when you hear stuff like that. I think it's actually hilarious, but okay.
You say that, but there are some things that you say I find, and again, I'll give you a chance to explain them, that I think that are divisive and may sort of contradict what you're saying. But
so Don Lemon comes in with an agenda already. Just so we know, Don Lemon is on an agenda already.
Before we get there, can we talk news of the day, politics of the day, and then we'll get into that? Is that cool?
Sure.
Can we do
ask is, why are we not told about the mass killing of Christians all around the world? What you just said, like, why can't we just let it be about the Holocaust? What is that? Well, that's like the most selfish thing in the entire world. Let me finish. The most selfish thing in the entire world is for me to spend an hour talking about the atrocities that innocent Christians who had nothing to do with Adolf Hitler faced, and then to have Zionist media talking heads somehow make it about the Holocaust. It's not about the Holocaust, okay? Christians suffered too. In fact, we are the most persecuted religion in the world. And I am so sick of it. I am so sick of there can only be one victim narrative.
And
if you start talking about,
and we are not the most persecuted in the world. Come on.
That is a fact. What are you saying? We're not the most persecuted in the world. Do you know what's happening in Armenia? Do you know what's happening in Nigeria? Do you know what just happened in Canada? The fake story that was propagated by all of the mainstream networks about the nuns, and they found the mass burial, which allowed 85 Catholic churches to be burned to the ground in the last 3 years in Canada. We are still being persecuted right now. Okay. So I take great offense to you coming in here about the sensitivities of the people that are working on your show when I'm sitting here telling you that I'm a Christian. I'm offended by what you're saying, and you laugh. You mock Christian persecution. Do you think people to laugh when someone tells you about Christian persecution? Because let me tell you something. If I had done that, I think it's laughable about the Holocaust. I don't think it's funny. I would be chased out of polite society. Then don't laugh. Don't laugh at Christian persecution. Don't do it.
Laughable is mean that the name is in the term. It's laughable.
Do not laugh. You literally just laugh when I talk about Christian persecution. Don't do that ever again. Not in my presence.
What you're saying is, okay, Candace, thank you. So what you're saying is, like
I said, coming with a total agenda. So Don Lemon, and it's funny, he says, I am a Christian. Really? I'm shocked to hear that. That's news to me. She's making a point, and she feels how she feels, right? You know, everybody has their points to make, and she should be listened to. I didn't even know about the mass burial, the so-called graves that cost 85 Catholic churches to be, I guess demolished or whatever. I'll certainly look into that, right? I'm a Christian too. I will say, I didn't learn Christian history in school. I totally understand what Candace is saying. Her anger comes from the fact that Don Lemon is just like, you're laughable basically because of like what you're concerned about, something that has to do with you personally, but she's not allowed to be, right? Because that has to take a back seat, and he doesn't know how to really handle that. And he's being flippant about it. But let's be clear, Don Lemon is flippant about his so-called religion. I mean, he is.
You know what? The Holocaust was bad, but look over here. These people were worse than the Holocaust, so we should.
That's not that. First off,
that's what it sounds like. I'm telling you, that's what it sounds like.
You just said you didn't watch the episode.
No, but I'm saying that's what it sounds like. That's what you're saying. I don't have to watch the episode. I was listening to the words that you just said. You just spent 3 or 4 minutes talking about the other atrocities and how bad they were.
Yes, the other atrocities that have happened in human history outside of the Holocaust are things that we are relevant and allowed to talk about, especially when the numbers of Christians that were persecuted following the Russian Revolution and the manner in which they were killed, people that were beheaded, priests that were shot. Yes, it is. I can talk about Christian history, and I don't need to feel guilty about that, and I won't.
That's fine. All right, good. You don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to.
And please, genuinely. Please never, please, when I come on your show, have enough respect not to laugh when I talk about Christian persecution, because you would never do that if I was Jewish and I was talking about the Holocaust.
She's absolutely right, because that would have been my next comment too. He would not have done that. He would have, said, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." He would have fumbled over his feet, the whole bit. What she's talking about is a Bolshevik revolution. 20 millions. I think somewhere over 20 million Christians were slaughtered, persecuted, skinned alive, all kinds of things. And we just, a lot of people don't know this, And so she says she wants to talk about it. This is, you're doing this is more important than the Holocaust. She just wants to talk about it, right? Like, why is this even, this is weird. Why can't she just talk about it? And he's like, well, I didn't watch your show, but I feel like this is what you're saying. I mean, just absolutely hilarious.
Can't tell
you
me
would never do that.
You should have enough respect to know not to tell people how to react. You can't tell someone not to laugh.
Okay. Well, then I double dare you when a Jewish person is talking about persecution of Jews to laugh. You won't do it.
I won't do it because I actually believe that there were persecution of Jews, and
you don't believe that Christians were persecuted.
Let me finish my thought. I believe that there is persecution of Christians. I don't think it's the most persecuted religion in the world. Okay, so listen. Do you, so
he doesn't know anything about it. It's funny because I know a Muslim woman who put me on to the Christian genocide that was going on in India that nobody knows about, and because she was talking about it, she was banned from India on Twitter. Right? Like, this is happening today, right? So let us not act like it's not. But Don Lemon doesn't care. Like, he has to get a check. Because you ask yourself, how is Don Lemon even still on? Because really, he's kind of boring, isn't he? Like, who cares what Don Lemon? He's a disgruntled old gay black man, right?
Listen, laughable. Good, you agree with me. Thank you. So listen, when what happened with you was a Daily Wire, right? Is that the network you're on? What happened with you at the Daily Wire because of your stance on what's happening in Israel and Gaza, and what you just explained. My question to you is, because people think that you are you anti-Semitic?
No, I'm not anti-Semitic.
Go on.
Go on with what? You asked me a question. I answered it.
You said
I don't need to launch into defense of myself because I'm just not anti-Semitic. There's nothing that I hear that I need to add. I guess today anti-Semitism, the definition keeps expanding, and now I guess it means if you don't fall over yourself every time Bibi Netanyahu speaks, they're just going to call you an anti-Semite.
So again, with an agenda, like she said, no, go on, bro. What is going on in America today? Like, what is really going on? But this is why, like, it's just hilarious. It really is hilarious. But this is when it got a bit awkward for Don Lemon, who he couldn't take it. He was like, he really couldn't take it after this one.
Bothered me, but I want the explanation in the context, as you say.
Do you have any clips of anything that like you agreed with, or we're just gonna pretend this is a friendly interview as you can okay. Just wondering, is there even one clip of something that you agree with?
I don't know. Maybe I agree with the next clip, but anyway, roll the next clip, please.
Bring shame back. Bring back saying you are disgusting, you are wrong, you are a hoe, you are a pervert. Call things for what they are. And that is another way that they've psychologically tried to transform speech in America by saying you have free speech, but if you say that word, if you say that's whack or that's gay, then that would make you a homophobe. You don't want to be a homophobe, do you? It's no. We shouldn't do that. And it's even been the disappearance of words that actually had real meanings, like growing up, majoring in English, reading old English novels and understanding that a word is a real word. It means a bundle of sticks.
Okay, so listen, I believe in free speech, right? But I also believe that free speech comes with consequences. So the word you said was right? Is that exactly the word? Mm-hmm. So what did you mean by that? You think it's okay to say the word, to call people to their face?
No, actually, I said words have meaning. And so when you start allowing the perverts to dictate speech, then words just have to go away. So I don't like the death of the English language because people are getting offended. So that's I could pick any word. I could say, plant. And from now on, every time I see a gay guy, I'm going to be like, he's a total plant. And then eventually they say, you can't say plant anymore. It's like, no, this is.
She's absolutely right. I mean, he's so emotionally connected to it. Look at his eyes are getting ready to roll. I mean, it is honestly, this is the church woman with the hat on, this is Don Lemon, right? Talking about the other church sisters, honey, this is Don Lemon. She has to take on a more masculine role with this man. This is crazy. She says just words.
This is a real word that has meaning. Attack the person who's perverting the word, but you don't suddenly disappear a word and you say you can no longer say it, or you can no longer read these Virginia Woolf novels because the word has been perverted. I think that's a backwards way of thinking.
Read Virginia Woolf novels, and the only people I know who
get on like I don't think that you can suddenly say go backwards and delete words that had real meaning because someone has perverted it, because then it never stops. It just becomes constantly having to update the language for people's feelings. And I don't think that we should be doing that.
So you would never call me a in my face, right?
Well, why would I just randomly call you a
I'm just meaning.
Have you ever seen the Louis C.K.
skit
on? Have you ever seen the Louis C.K. skit on?
No, I like Louis C.K., but I don't think I've ever seen a skit on.
You should watch it.
Yeah. No, but you would never call.
It's just crazy. I mean, like, and it gets worse. Like
about same-sex marriage.
It's a sin.
You think it's a sin? So you think I'm sinful?
What's that?
You think I'm sinful because I'm married to a man?
Yeah.
You do?
Yes, you're sinning. You are in a sinful relationship. I actually don't believe marriage can be between two men. So I don't.
But you understand, though, Candace, and maybe we're not going to agree on this now. I thought we would. Do you understand, though, that the same Bible verses and the same scriptures that are used to call same-sex marriage sinful are used to call interracial marriage sinful as well? And so there are people who would say that you are in a sinful marriage.
Can you tell me which verse it is that would make people say?
The thing is that it's actually not there, and that people twist the Bible verses. That's my whole point. Thank you for proving that, because it doesn't say that, and it's actually, you're going to say Leviticus or whatever. It's not actually what Leviticus says. But go on. I don't want to get into specifics about the Bible, but that's not what the Bible says. It's just people using and interpreting Scripture in a way that they want to interpret it. So
we're not going to go into the full details of their conversation because I wouldn't be able to upload it on my account, I guess. I think that everybody should take a look at this, right? He's trying to paint her, put her in a corner, basically, back her into a corner. Now, you don't have to agree with Candace Owens, but Don Lemon saying that homosexuality being a sin is not in the Bible is the most blasphemous thing I've heard this week. I'm sure there's something else that'll come up soon, but this is where it's come to, right? Where we just take the word of God and we do whatever we want with it, right? Okay, just say you want to do what you want to do, but don't start twisting God's words. It is in there. Now, and in fact, it has some very, very severe punishment with it, but obviously we don't do those kind of things today. Okay. He gets very upset with her because she's sticking to her values. She's not saying to him that you're this bad person or whatever, but he's so upset that she sticks to her values, that she's looking him dead in the face and saying it is a sin. That's it. That's it. Like, if I have to be by myself and tell you what's in the Bible, then I just have to be by myself and tell you that. And he doesn't know how to deal with that. And it makes him question what he's doing. This is the problem. And so this is why truth becomes hate. Look, again, and this is the last disclaimer I will make. People can do whatever they want with their lives, whatever, right? You have free will. But this man calls himself a Christian, and he is bending reality to say that what he's doing is not a sin. Anybody will tell you it's a sin. I know homosexuals who say it is a sin, right? If they believe as a Christian. Now, just say that you don't believe in God or something. I don't know. However, you need to work that out for yourself. But don't be mad at the person because they already stand on the value. But it's breaking into his reality. It's something that he chose not to think about. And now he's almost forced to think about it. And so it comes with a defense. It's certainly a defense. He's building a wall while he's talking to her. He's breaking down, but still trying to put the bricks back up, and it's pissing him off. And then he ends up taking it out on her. And she just sits there and sticks with her values. It was hilarious to watch this, guys. Thank you for watching this episode. I see you guys at the next one. Bye.